Okay, hey. So, yeah, one of my favorite techniques with the modular is to wavefold CV signals to kind of create more complex signals from fairly simple signals. And to do that, I really like to use the pingable envelope generator by 4MS, as it allows me to kind of sync up long LFOs or envelopes to like a timing signal and then muck around with them in a way that they'll always stay in time, even if they're doing kind of some pretty random things. So for this, I've got a clock signal coming from my analog rhythm, and that's making its way over to a clock divider here, and I'm dividing that by 32 and then sending that through to the pingable envelope generator. And that's really slowing that signal right down so that by the time it gets to the pingable envelope generator, you can see that kind of flashing there. It's nowhere near a 16th note, and it means I can still speed it up to kind of, you know, as fast as a 16th note if I need to, but I can also slow it way down so that the signal from the peg occurs over like several bars if I want to. So let's just have a listen to the signal that's coming out of the peg at the moment. Actually, let's have a listen to, got a shapeshifter here, and that's going to be my primary sound source for this. So that's it, kind of coming out, no pitch change, no VCAing or anything. And I'm going to run this peg into it, and so you can hear it's got this kind of LFO kind of pitch, and I can change the shape of it by changing the slew and the curve of it and the speed of it. Yeah. Okay, so it's a bit predictable. I'm not really into it remotely. So I'm going to take that output and I'm going to run it into a U-fold wave folder over here. And then let's have a listen to what it sounds like once it's going through the wave folder. And then if I make changes to the shape of the envelope at the pingable envelope end of things, small changes carry through to kind of have quite drastic changes once they've gone through the wave folder. And then I can also adjust the wave folder itself. So just by adjusting the slew and the curve on the pingable envelope generator and the folds and the symmetry that I have on the U-fold, I'm able to get these kind of really dynamic changes, I guess. And the way that all those controls interact together means that I've kind of got like an infinite number of variations of that fairly simple waveform. Okay. But I don't like how it's kind of continuously changing. I'd like to hear some discrete changes. So instead of coming out of the wave folder directly, I'm going to produce a few gate triggers, and we're going to, just going to turn that down for a sec. We're going to use those gate triggers to drive a quantometer quantizer so that we just hear discrete pitch changes. So to get these gates, I'm also going to use a wave folder. So I've got the other side of my pingable envelope generator here, also fed by the same signal from the clock divider, and it's going to a second wave folder over here. And the output of it is then going into the CV input of a track and hold switch, which has, it's an A152. It's a kind of it's a really interesting module. You can do like a million different things with it. But one of the things it does is it has these 8 gate signals on the right-hand side, according to kind of the level of the CV going into it. So it's a bit like having a threshold. You could use a maths to get a similar thing where you set a threshold and a waveform then produces essentially a square wave. A waveform produces a trigger signal. But anyway, with the A152, I've got two outputs, gating, and I'm running that into a logic module. So it's just doing a simple OR logic, exclusive OR logic on it. And those two gate signals are then going to make up our triggers. And similarly to the pitch CV we were playing with before, those triggers are very dynamic in that I can change the speed of the pingable envelope generator, the slew, the curve, and that's going to dramatically affect when those triggers happen as we're changing the settings on the wave folder. But anyway, it's going to be easier to kind of hear those changes, I guess. So let's take our pitch in to the shapeshifter from the quantometer. Let's turn this up again. It's a bit lower pitched now. And our trigger for the quantometer is going to come from a sample and hold. Get rid of that, just in case that confuses anyone. I was playing with the idea of using envelopes before, but it's not necessary. Okay, into there. Then the other thing I'm going to do is we're going to also going to take that same wave folded CV signal from the wave folder and peg channel that is producing the triggers, and we're going to use that to change the shape of the shapeshifter. And so we start getting these kind of more complex changes. And we can slow down the relative speed of this side of the peg. Yeah, so we've got this like slow sequence probably taking place over a couple of bars. I'm just driving up the FM modulation a little bit. Yeah. Okay. We'll play a bit with this CV and see how that changes kind of everything. The problem with this idea is that it's quite drastic, the changes, and it can be hard to track what has changed, and you can get a bit lost. But once you get a good loop going, you know, like that, I guess, and you can, because we've already got a drum machine running that's producing the timing, we can just turn that up, and it's going to be in time. Slightly kind of IF electro kind of vibe, I guess. play a bit with that CV over here. The other thing you can do, if you're getting too much kind of variation, sometimes it's just a good idea to kind of attenuate and offset that CV a bit so that you can get something that's a little bit more under control and to your taste. Where was I? Pitch. There we go. I might leave it there. Thanks a lot. See you later.